public unit as we do with any shared heritage and history in the Park Service. And with that, I yield back.
And without objection, the document's accepted to the record. The gentleman from California yield back. Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Montana. Mr. Rosendale, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Secretary Haaland. Trusting government is paramount if our system is to work. Transparency is a main component establishing that trust. I really appreciate the representative from California raising the issue of corruption and self-enrichment on the back of taxpayers. So my first question to you is, could you tell me when you plan to fulfill the January 2nd FOIA request from Protect the Public's Trust about communication between DOI and BLM and your daughter in reference to lobbying efforts and activities involving your daughter and members of your staff, and the protests which turned into a riot at Interior headquarters, which seems to have, your daughter has participated in?
Thank you, Mr. Rosendale. We have career staff who handle all of our FOIA requests. We get thousands and thousands of FOIA requests, so I recognize that they all can't be attended to immediately, but they will get to those FOIA requests in a timely manner.
No offense, Madam Secretary, but it has been 6 months' time since, or nearly 6 months' time since that request has gone out, and what is being requested is electronic documents that certainly can be transferred and shared very easily. And we're not talking about anything of a national security issue where people have to go back through and evaluate it. So why is it taking us so long to generate these documents on such a sensitive subject where I would think that you would want it to be public to show that you are a good, transparent public servant?
Thank you, Mr. Rosendale. Of course, ethics is incredibly important to me, as it is to my entire team at DOI.
It is, and it's not only the fact and the actions that take place, Secretary, but it's also the perception of. And this is what helps us build our pillars for the trust in our government. So again, what is taking so long, and when can we anticipate those documents being provided?
Thank you. As I mentioned, there's career staff who handle all the FOIA requests. They have a process. I will make
Thank
sure
you. I
that
would appreciate
they're
if you would
working on
go
the
back and see if
process.
we could not make that a priority.
Thank you.
Recently, you have a proposed plan to guide the balanced management of public lands, a new rule that has come out. And within that, this tool has the potential, and I'm taking it directly from BLM document. The tool has the potential to expand opportunities to accelerate restoration of big game migration corridors or establish carbon markets, for example, and directly responds to comments from state and industry partners on the need for a reliable path on public lands on which to pursue compensatory mitigation to facilitate development projects. Those lands are governed by the Taylor Grazing Act, which is a law, not a rule. An act to stop, and which the Taylor Grazing Act specifies, an act to stop injury to the public grazing lands by preventing overgrazing and soil deterioration to provide for their orderly use, improvement, and development to stabilize the livestock industry dependent upon the public range. By what authority do you propose a rule which is in such conflict with the law?
Congressman, I want to assure you that it's our job to follow the law in everything that we do. And
so why would you propose a rule then, a rule change that is in such clear contrast with the law, especially after we've just seen the U.S. Supreme Court recently decided in West Virginia versus the EPA that Congress, not agencies, had the final authority based upon the major questions doctrine?
Congressman, the public lands rule is currently under public comment. It's not final yet. And so we'll get all those public comments in and be able to incorporate those.
I understand that it is under consideration right now, and I assure you I will be providing extensive comments against this. But what I'm asking is, why would you propose a rule change that is in such clear contrast with the law that is already in place when we have just had a recent decision from the Supreme Court that says Congress, not the agency, has the final authority?
Congressman, the proposed rule that is under public comment now and is not final, it really does just work to put conservation and other public lands are multi-use. It's putting all of those uses on equal footing.
Thank you very much. Well, they're not supposed to be on equal footing, and we need to abide by the law, not the rule, and I will be submitting those comments, and hopefully they are incorporated. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady